number, I'm supposed to convert it into polar form. Observe the question properly. This has one real part and one imaginary part. Got this? First of all, identify it. Separate them. Real part is root 3. Um, Imaginary part, it's actually 1, if you guys understand. For example, it is root 3 plus 1i. Convert this in, compare this to a plus ib form. A plus ib. What's the value of a? Root 3, real part. B is 1, imaginary part. Focus. Once you separate both of them, it is important to equate it. To what? Listen up, I tell you. Imaginary part, no writing I. Keep that in mind. Real part, guys, okay, one more hint. Polar form is the only place where trigonometry gets involved. Okay? Don't get scared. Huh? Only the stand angles only will get involved. Apart from that, nothing else will get involved. Now, real part should always be equated to cos theta. Real part should always be equated to cos theta. Obviously, imaginary part will be equated to sin theta. Now, there is a reason as to why I gave some gap before sin theta or cos theta. You will blindly write the letter R there. What's the meaning of R? I won't tell you right now, but just write. Okay. So first step is you will separate both of them. Root 3 is the real part. 1 is the imaginary part. Once that is done, equate the real part to cos theta, equate the imaginary part to sin theta. We are done with this. Blindly, I'm supposed to put R and R. We are done with the answer. Now, we know a famous identity which combines both sin theta as well as cos theta. Identity, which is nothing but sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Correct? Huh? Now, the reason I told you I won't tell the meaning of R is because in the next step, I'm supposed to find the value of R. Okay? So, I'm supposed to find the value of R. How will I do it? Equate both of them. The only way I can equate it is by, trying to match it with some kind of identity. The identity goes like this: sin square theta plus cos square theta equals 1. Trying to get this identity into picture. Now think. Imagine this to be two different questions. Question number 1, question number 2. You have cos theta. How do you make it as cos square theta? You square on both sides. Now, if you ask me, sir, why are we trying to square on both sides? Because I want cos square theta for the identity. That's why I am trying to convert each and everything in terms of an identity. Similarly, there is sin theta here. If you want sin square theta, you're supposed to square this also on both the sides. After squaring on both the sides, the left-hand side becomes what? Root 3 square, which is nothing but 3. Here, right side becomes r square cos square theta. Here it becomes 1 as it is equal to r square sin square theta. Now compare both the equations. Don't you think to get my identity, think for a second, to get my identity which says sin square theta plus cos square theta, I'm supposed to add both the right hand sides here. Only then I'll be able to get the required identity. So once I add the right hand sides, it looks like this: r square cos square theta, add meaning plus, r square sin square theta. I added the right hand sides. Obviously, since I added the right hand sides, I am also supposed to add the left hand sides. The left hand side becomes 3 plus 1. The answer is 4. This is my equation after me trying to square on both the sides. Why am I trying to square on both sides? Identity is the picture. You guys understand? Polar form is all about trigonometry, where sin and cos is involved, as well as an identity is involved. That's how things work. Now, left hand side, focus properly. There are two parts in my answer, and both the parts have something in common: r square. I'll take r square common. What's left? Cos square theta plus sin square theta is left is equal to 4. Done. I'll continue the next place. In the next place, 1 second. In the next place, focus here. R square, keep it as it is. Instead of writing sin square theta plus cos square theta, I can write it as 1 is equal to 4. So I got the answer for r square is equal to 4. R is equal to plus or minus 2. Okay. I'll write plus or minus 2. But listen, instead of r is equal to plus or minus 2. But why is that? I am always choosing plus 2 because r should always be greater than 0. There is nothing against minus 2. But my question says r should always be equal greater than 0. I got the value of r. I hope you guys understood that. I'll go to the first thing again. First, you separate. Once you separate, to the real part, you put cos theta. To the imaginary part, you put sin theta. Next to both the parts, you put r. Now, we wanted to get some identity. The identity goes like sin square theta plus cos square theta. Now, in order to get the squares, I'm supposed to square on both sides. It becomes 3. It becomes 3 equals r square cos square theta. 1 equals r square sin square theta. We're done with this. In order to match the identity, I'm supposed to add the right hand sides. R square cos square theta plus I added them. I took common. Once I took common, I got the answer for r. Now, it's like once you find the value of r, always go back to the assumption part. This box is your assumption part. Okay. Now, 1 second. I'll take this off. It's not required. But remember that r should always be greater than 0. That's why I'm choosing the positive number, not minus 2. I'll write both the assumptions on my right hand side. First assumption is root 3 is equal to r cos theta. Let me solve this. Let me try solving this. Now, why am I trying to solve this? Also, I'll tell you. I'll keep the root 3 as it is. We know the value of r. I put 2. I write cos theta as it is. Keep the cos theta there itself. The 2 goes to the denominator. It becomes root 3 by 2. Okay, mark that. Fine. Now, this is my first assumption. Second assumption is 1 is equal to r sin theta. 1 is equal to r sin theta. Correct? 1 as it is. R's value is 2. Sin theta as it is. Sin theta is equal to 1 by 2. Now, you're supposed to think of a value for theta in such a way that it should work for both the boxes. Okay. Now you tell me, for what value of cos theta, yeah, correct. For what value of cos theta is the answer root 3 by 2 when theta is equal to 30 degrees? Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. Similarly, sin 30 is 1 by 2. So I write theta equals 30 degrees. The moment you write 30 degrees, the answer is wrong because you're always supposed to write the angle in terms of radian, pi by 6. Remember this? Where pi is 180 degrees. So you converted the degrees into radians. The answer is this. So to recap, you'll assume two things. Once you assume two things, you'll find the value of r. Once you find the value of r, go back to both the boxes. And start finding the value of theta. Okay, start finding the value of theta. Now, you'll get the answer for theta. Here, you got the answer to be as pi by 6. To be precise, polar form only means two things. You're supposed to find the value of r, and using the value of r, you're supposed to find the value of theta. We're almost done. But the name says polar form. This is like equation of a line in 10th standard. You will get the answers, but you're supposed to represent it in one specific form. Okay, that representation is called as polar form. Now see what I'm going to do. The question, I'll copy paste again. Root 3 plus I. Okay, now see as to what I'm going to do. Root 3, we wrote it as r cos theta because real number, plus as it is. I, we wrote it as, okay fine, 1 second. I'll keep I as it is. We wrote it as r sin theta. This is, I am doing only in the last part, polar form. The last part I'm doing. Okay. Now focus. We know the value of r, right? 2. We know the value, keep the cos as it is. We know the value of theta, pi by 6. Plus, keep I as it is. Okay, this is the last step. Don't get confused. R's value is 2. Sin as it is. Theta is pi by 6. This is my answer. The whole thing is my answer. They want the answer in one specific form. Okay, this form is one. See, if you want to go one step further, what you can do? There are two parts. In both the parts, 2 is common. You take out 2 common. Cos pi by 6 plus I sin pi by 6. This is how you're going to get the answer as. Okay, by end of the day, polar form, you will keep the form or represent the form only in the last part. Apart from that, you're doing it regularly. Okay, I'll repeat this from here. We get r's value. Sorry, we assume the r's value. Once we finish that, we're going to get the r's value here as 2. Using the r's value, we're going to find the value of theta. Okay, find the value of theta. Next, Last part is the last part says PF or Colas polar form. What do? We can write the question as it is. Whatever we assume, we're gonna bring it into picture. But the only extra thing here is we're gonna bring the I also together right now. Once we bring the I also together, we know the value of each and everything. You should not find the value of cos pi by 6. I don't want the answer. I want the form. So keep the r as it is, cos as it is, theta's value we know, substitute, i's value as it is, 2 as it is, sine as it is, theta's value we know, continue. That's all. This is my answer. Getting it? Good. One more question you'll understand now, basically. Okay. Sort of. Start copy. Once you're done with the first slide, let me know. By chance, if this there in your syllabus, no? 100% question. 5 of 5. R's value should always be greater than 0. I'll go to the next slide, guys. Next slide. Yeah. Done. Next slide, I'll go. The last is just the form. Okay. Um, Writing it in that specific form is what's going to carry marks. Yeah. The final form should have I in it. Done. Next question. You guys try this. I also know where you guys might get stuck in this question. Um, -3. That's the question. So first of all, you're supposed to rewrite the question in terms of A plus IB form. There is no imaginary part here, meaning you will rewrite the question as -3 plus 0I. This is the actual question now. Okay. Again, 0I was not given. Now what are you going to do? You will separate the real part. You will separate the imaginary part. Okay. Without the I now. Real part you will equate to R cos theta. Here you will equate to R sin theta. Now you obviously know what to do. You have to square on both sides. On both the columns. After squaring, left hand side becomes 9. Right side becomes R square cos square theta 0 R square sin square theta. We add both of them together, both the sides, R square this one and the left one. It becomes R square cos square theta plus R square sin square theta is equal to 9 plus 0 equals 9. I take R square common. Once you take R square common, cos square theta plus sin square theta remains, which is nothing but 1. R square into 1 is nothing but R square is equal to 9. R's value will be equal to plus or minus 3, but only take plus 3 because R should be greater than 0. Done with this. I found the value of R. You find the value of theta now. Let's see. What is theta? No. That's the whole point. You should tell me. Psych fellow, Diraj. Ah. What is sin? What is sin 180? 0. What that? Ah, so what? What is matching? Is cos no? Is cos 0 0? I mean, is cos 0 minus 1? No, then you should not take the answer as 0. Okay, sin theta will be equal to 0, cos theta will be equal to minus 1. Got that? Now check both. If I take, as I told, if I take theta as 0, obviously cos 0 is not minus 1. You can't get the answer. Which means think of a way as to what angle should be taken so that both will get satisfied. Answer is pi or 180 degrees. Okay, careful. Right? So somewhere in a box, right? Cos 180 is equal to minus 1. Sin 180 is equal to 0. Important. Now what do we write? Last polar form. I write the question. Minus 3 plus 0i is nothing but r cos theta plus I dot r sin theta. R's value is 3 cos pi plus I is I as it is. R is 3 sin pi. For what? Why it seems? Tell okay. Remember this. This is important. 217 not at all required. Sometimes yeah. But 180 only is more asked more times. Sine and cos hakko. What she gave for everything award? What I are focusing on class and all? No? You go to college at least? Keep thinking by that time college will get over. I am not telling anything. What? Nihar you call. Tagolri. Nice I told.
Sir, it is BT, sir. I got it also.
Hey, vice captain you are.
Bloody half an hour event, okay, on Saturday. 5 hours marching every day for a half an hour event practice in the sun.
Gym better cardio.
That's why he stepped down as class rep also.
Step down. Right. Next question. I. That's all. I. What Hardik Pandya or what? Vice captain you are.
Sir, like housewives. Sir, never.
Housewife.
Never. Never.
Which was I went,
Sir, leave, sir. Why?
You didn't tell only.
Huh?
Which was I went? You didn't tell only.
I've told you. Try to recall.
Huh?
Sir, I'll tell, sir, not here. So don't worry.
Yeah. You tell in English, I understand. Wind, fire.
Sir, earth.
Earth. What does earth mean?
Sir, leave, sir. Leave.
Yeah, so Viraj, what does earth mean? Crazy. Yeah. 0 plus 1 I. Useless fellow. How is it same thing, Radhiraj? It was raining today, no? I swear to God. Okay, bro, I swear to God, bro, it was raining very heavily. It was raining there. Message, I say, Google Maps, I'll check. What do you call weather? I'll get to know a little. I am psychic. I am little. You didn't know. I can sense spirits and all. One second, where I'll
You
sense
took
one yard.
new people, sir.
Nyar is in Earth, no? Yeah, wait, wait. Nyar,
Sir, you leave that, sir. You took new people.
please tell me what's the name of it. I'm very
No,
curious
I'm
to know.
not telling, sir.
Please.
Sir, not here, sir.
Come on, Nyar.
So why here, sir?
Hey, answer mado. Why, what do you want offline? You tell what you want, I'll keep. Third, guys, find the value of R. Also find the value of theta. Check it. Yeah, yeah. R is 1. Theta.
So theta is pi by 2.
Yeah. But then which college are you in? Joseph's though.
Yes, sir.
Residency Road.
Yes, sir.
How's college?
Three only, sir.
Why, what happened?
Nothing, sir.
You didn't like it? PCM board, P or
E, sir. PCME.
E?
Yeah.
Start with electronics, not it.
Yeah, no. From Monday, they started from last itself.
How was the subject? Easy.
Kind of.
Okay. Yaar, banta answer.
Sir, doing, sir, doing.
What you're doing from that time? You didn't get the value of R also. Oh, vice captain. Get answer. Zero. How long is taking to get the answer for R?
Sir, I'm mad tired, sir.
Simply will be sitting there. ಮಾಡ್ದೇನೋ ಯಾರ್
Sir, really, sir, I'm mad tired, sir.
Hey,
Sir, head is aching a lot, sir.
what for? That's why I tell don't have girlfriend means.
Oh yeah. Sir, till 4 o'clock that marching practice, 4 to 5 football practice, and then I came, sir.
ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಒಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ಆಮೇಲೆ. Yeah. Guys, we add both of them together. So it becomes r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta equals 1. Take r square common, will be equal to 1. R is equal to 1. Done. Now to find theta, what do? We equate both the boxes. The next slide. 0 is equal to cos theta. 1 is equal to sin theta. For what value of theta is cos the answer 0 degree, as well as 90 degree. For what value of sin is the answer 90 degree. 90 is nothing but pi by 2. Theta is pi by 2. Polar form I write. Nothing but r cos theta plus I dot r sin theta. R is 1. Yeah, R is 1. Cos pi by 2 plus I as it is. R is 1 again. Sin pi by 2. That's it. Copy. Toughest question in this chapter. Understood, Robert? It's what? Kids question, no? What is the next? Useless fellow. This only is the answer. You will find R, no? Polar form is only two things, finding R and theta. What else? Which one? Theta step. Once you find R, take it and substitute it back in the reference boxes. That's all. Ashte. Dhiraj, what's wrong with you, Dhiraj? You tell me. Huh? Okay. We'll do a little chemistry. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. Guys, chemistry, okay, little basics I'll do of Levi's structure. Rules I'll teach you today. Fine. I'll teach the rules giving an example. The next class, I'll actually make you guys write the rules and all those things. Just follow me. So let's say the question goes like this. Again, chemical bonding is a chapter's name. You guys know that. Okay. That first one, Levi's dot structure or Lewis dot structure, whatever. I am not going to give the rules today. I'll teach the rules. I'll apply the rules today in some kind of question. I'm not going to give the rules. I'm only applying the rules. The question goes like this. Draw. It's always drawing. Okay. Lewis dot structure for carbon monoxide, CO. This will be the question. How to go step by step? I'm applying the rules here. Step number 1. Check how many elements are there, not compound, elements. Write them separately. C is an element, O is an element. Correct? Step number 1 is done. Step number 2. Find the valence electrons for both the things. I'll repeat that. Find the valence electrons for both the things. Now, atomic number of carbon is 6. Atomic number of oxygen is 2 plus 2, 8. Okay. Getting this? All these things are 9 standard, 10 standard stuff. If atomic number is 6, obviously atomic number will be equal to number of electrons, which means based on the number of electrons, I shall be able to write the electronic configuration. Now, in your PUC, the electronic configuration goes like 1s2, 2s2, all those things ignore right now, not required. Just like the ICIC way, write it. 2,4, 2,6. You will write it. But if you remember the rule what I told you, look at the valence electrons only. In other language, carbon has 4 valence electrons, oxygen has 6 valence electrons. I'll repeat all the steps right now. See the compound. Separate the elements. Once separate the elements, okay? Write the electronic configuration of each of them. Why? We're supposed to find valence electrons. Okay? Once you find valence electrons, step number 2 is done. Okay? Step number 3. We draw something called as a skeletal structure. I'll repeat that. We draw something called as a skeletal structure. We write C, we blindly write O with some gap. Okay. Now here, Initially, one bond I'll draw. This is called as the skeletal structure. Always understand, skeletal structure should not have more than one bond. This is just like a reference structure. Okay. So step number 3, what did I do? I saw both of them. I drew a skeletal structure. Okay. Now listen. It's time to count right now as to how things actually work. Okay. Think twice as to what can be done. Um, Always understand, wherever chemistry, I mean, wherever any kind of element goes, everything is trying to get satisfied. In other language, octet rule is trying to get used up. Octet rule. Okay. Focus. I'm supposed to use the octet rule for both of them. Now, why are we actually trying to find the valence electrons? Now, ignore that. For carbon, it was 4. For oxygen, it is 6. No, I know that. I'll keep that in mind. It looks like this. Oxygen, it is how many? 6. How does this go, man? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, for carbon, it is 4. I'll draw 2 first. Let's see. Okay. 1, 2, 4. Got this? This is how it actually looks like. Now listen up. I can see that carbon as well as oxygen have more than one lone pair of electrons. More than one lone pair of electrons. To be more precise, carbon has 2 lone pair of electrons. Oxygen has 3 lone pair of electrons. Okay, which means there is a chance of mutual sharing which can happen here. I'll repeat that. There is a chance of mutual sharing which can happen here. So what happens here is the carbon and oxygen will be like, see, both of us can share one more pair of bonds, one more pair of electrons. Why don't we do that? So they'll be like, okay, carbon, this bond was there as it is. Since they had multiple, they'll choose one more. They'll choose to share one more bond. Okay. Now one more bond meaning 2 electrons got used up. Out of 4 electrons, carbon used up 2 to form the bond with oxygen. After using up 2 more are left. I'll draw that. I'll draw oxygen as it is. Okay. Now, oxygen out of 6, it used up 2. How many are remaining? 2 more are remaining. 1 and 2. 2 more. This is how the Lewis structure looks like. So now even I used to not understand. Okay, I'll teach you a shortcut now. Listen, what BT this is. Carbon monoxide is a question. You write C, you write O. Wherever oxygen goes, how many bonds follow? 2 bonds follow. Okay. Now think from oxygen's perspective. Octet rule is the concept. I'll repeat that 1 second. Wait. Wherever hydrogen goes, 1 bond follows. Wherever oxygen goes, 2 bonds follow. Wherever nitrogen goes, 3 bonds follow. Wherever carbon goes, 4 bonds follow. I hope you guys know this. Now, octet rule has to be satisfied. You write C as well as O. Wherever oxygen goes, 2 bonds follow. Done. Okay. Now, think from oxygen's perspective. For it to satisfy octet, it wanted 8 electrons. Out of 8, 2 bonds are here. 2 bonds meaning 4 electrons. So to satisfy the octet for oxygen, it needs 2 more pairs. So put 2 more pairs of electrons. That's all. Now think from carbon's perspective. Wherever carbon goes, 4 bonds has to follow. Okay. Now out of 4 bonds, 2 have got used up. How many more? 2 more. Draw 2 more lone pair of electrons here. This is the answer. By the time you do that Levi's dot structure and have to get the answer, no, it will take off 1 decade, I feel. Okay. So don't think so much. The trick, whatever I'm trying to give you, use the trick and try to get the answer. Will this trick work for everything? How? Where? Here. Wherever carbon goes, how many bonds follow? Out of 4, 2 got used up. How many more it requires? 2 more meaning how many bond? How many electrons? 4. Ashte. There are multiple. See, guys, CO is different, CO2 is different. CO is different, CO1 minus is different. All these things are different. I'll teach you for almost all the things, but today I'm just trying to give you a basic as to how it works. Think about oxygen, yeah. Where oxygen goes, 8 bonds, 2 bonds follow. 1, 2. Okay. Both the 4 bonds got satisfied. But to satisfy octet, it needs 8 electrons. Out of 2 electrons, meaning 2 bond, meaning 4 electrons got shared here. It needs 4 more. Therefore, 2 pairs. Getting it? Yeah. Now, I'll give another example. Wait. Let's say the concept is CO3 2 minus. Very simple. Listen, there's a minus. That's why I chose it. Compare both the things. Whichever is lower in number, make that a middle, as middle. Lower in number. So C was less in number, so make that as a middle. There are three oxygens being surrounded. You write one on top, one at the bottom, one at this end. Done. Okay. Now let's think from carbon's perspective as well as oxygen's perspective. Okay. Let's go step by step. Now, carbon needs four bonds to satisfy. Okay, cool. One, two, three. I put carbon can take one more. So what carbon does, since it wants to get satisfied, it will share the bond with oxygen itself. But unfortunately, carbon can satisfy only one oxygen completely. So let's say the carbon shows this oxygen. Now, if you ask me, sir, why not this? You can choose whichever you want to. Now, think from carbon's perspective. Wherever carbon goes, four bonds are required. Cool. Think from this oxygen's perspective. Wherever oxygen goes, two bonds are required. Cool. But here, only one and one is there. It cannot. It is not satisfied. Again, how many are not satisfied? Two are not satisfied. That is why it is two minus. I hope you guys got it. Again, this is not complete. Fine. Two were not satisfied, therefore two minus. Now, that's one of the logic. One more logic. How to write? Think from carbon's perspective. Is the octet being satisfied? Yes. Think about this oxygen. This oxygen, octet rule was there, which means 8 electrons. Out of 8, 4 got used up. How many more are required? 4 more are required. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Let's talk about this oxygen. Wherever oxygen goes, octet I had to get satisfied. Octet meaning 8. Out of 8, 2 got used. How? One bond meaning 2 electrons. 6 more are required. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Talk about this oxygen. It needs 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's it. This is how the structure of CO3 2 minus looks like. Copy this. It's all about trying to satisfy the octet. I'll give you more examples later, but this is how it works. Okay. I'm just trying to tell you, even without knowing the rules, you will still be able to get the right answer. Okay. You can choose for anything. I'll give one more. Wait. I think we'll solve NO3 1 minus, very famous compound, no? NO3 1 minus, or more famous. NO2 will solve. That's even more famous. 1 second, guys. I'll give you some time. Wait. NO2 will solve. First one. Compare in both these elements, which one is lower in number? N. Okay. It'll have two oxygens. One here, one here. We know the rule. Wherever N goes, 3 bonds will follow. Okay. 1, 2. Now, even N realizes it can't satisfy both of them. It'll let it satisfy one. Let's say it chose you. Let's say it went in. 1 second. Wait. It created a double bond with this oxygen. Okay, cool. Now, we'll try satisfying the octet. Cool. Octet meaning it has to have 8. This N has 2, 4, 6. It needs how many more? It needs 2 more. So, 1, 2. Talk about this oxygen. It needed 8. 4 done. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. What about this? Needs 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's it. Put in brackets. That's all. Okay. Without even knowing the rules, I hardly taught you any rules. You'll still be able to get the answer just by understanding that the rule which I taught you in 9th or 10th standard. Okay. That, wherever carbon goes, all that specific rule. It's actually simple. Now do one thing. Copy this and this. Just write Lewis dot structure and copy. Let me know once you get done with this. I'll go to the next slide. Done. Next slide I'll go. Copy this also. Done. If you haven't copied the CO2, copy that. Yeah. This is the most important thing. Again, write it, no problem. Okay. This is the basic ideas of Lewis structure. Okay. Learn this. But again, we finish off math today, which is good. Tomorrow we'll finish off Lewis structure, and I'll give you the intro to valence bond theory. Okay. In fact, I don't think so. I'll be able to give a start to valence bond theory. I'll finish off this. I'll finish this off completely. Obviously, tomorrow I'll be doing a minimum of like 15 examples. Okay. So attend the class. Come on time. Fine. Because initially the 10 minutes first 10 minutes I'll tell you the rules. Once I finish the rules, I'll obviously go faster. Okay. So rules are very important. So make sure the moment I send the link, just join the class. We will finish it off tomorrow. Cool. Bye.